This is going to be an exciting webinar, and we're going to be talking about the best practices of engaging your website visitors in real time. We're going to be talking about how to convert them into customers in real time. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming in. So let's get started. And the voice that you hear, that's me, Ambi Murthy. I'm the product marketer with Zoho Sales IQ, and I'm your host today. And I'm going to take you through this wonderful session. So before we go to the actual webinar, there's a little bit of housekeeping notes in here. So these housekeeping notes are about like what's the agenda for the day. So we're going to start the discussion by talking about a common platform for all businesses, and then we're going to uh, move towards how to identify your website visitors in real time, and then the important part is like how to engage them in real time and then convert them into customers. And there's another interesting part that's one of my favorite part where we kind of go into the granular information and then get insights from people on the call, and then it is about what is your return on investment versus your marketing spend. And there is also going to be a Q&A session towards the end. So do not wait for the Q&A session for with your questions. Go ahead and then start putting your questions as this webinar progresses into the GoToWebinar chat box that you see on the extreme right side of your screen. I repeat, it's on the extreme right side of your screen. Keep as many questions coming as possible. I'll answer all of them towards the end of the session. So that is about housekeeping notes. Into the actual webinar now. So we're going to start the discussion by talking about a common platform for all businesses. And let's keep this as interactive as possible. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and then launch a poll that's going to come up on your screen, and then you need to please answer it for me. So what do you think is the most common platform for all business to engage their prospects? Do you think it is the company website, or do you think it is the Facebook, or do you think it's Twitter, or do you think it's Google Plus? So go ahead and then voice your opinion in there, and let's see what happens. So people who think it's the company website, yeah, and the people who think Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus. So voice your opinion, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and then give you five, four, three, two, one, boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and share the results. There you go. So 55% of the people on this call, they think that the company website is the most common platform, followed by Facebook at 27% and followed by Twitter at 18%. Okay, and Google Plus, sorry, no takers for you. So what you're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and then close this poll, hide the results, and get back in here, and let's see what's the answer that we had in mind for this poll. There you go, the company website. People who answered website for the question that we asked, give yourself a warm round of applause. So it's a company website. So we understood the common platform is the website, but do we go ahead and then treat the website in the right way? Do we go ahead and then treat the website content in the right way? Do we design websites in the right way? There are few common mistakes that every sales and marketing people, a solopreneur, or as an entrepreneur, you tend to do that. So what are those mistakes? So what happens is that the core idea or the core theme that you should always keep in mind while designing a website is that you should have a very minimalistic approach. So when I say a very minimalistic approach, it should kind of go ahead and then bring out the soul of your message and the value for which your product or service stands for. But what happens is people tend to treat websites like digital brochures. So it's kind of very funny, but at the same time, you need to keep it. You need to take a very serious call on that. You put a lot of content in there. You put a lot of information in there. You put a lot of brochures in there. You put a lot of offers in there. But what people don't realize during that is that the soul of the message, the value of your business, is somewhere lost in the dense forest of all this. So do not treat your website like digital brochure. Keep your website very minimal in terms of content. Speak to the point so that whatever people or prospects, when they come onto your website, they feel at ease to consume your content. The value of your product or service easily gets across to his mind. So that is mistake number one. What is mistake number two? we tend to treat website like signboards. So you must have seen that when I'm driving on the highway, there is a sign that I see 100 meters in front of me. There is an exit to your right, and it is 200 meters from now. So people kind of do that on their website also. They say, click here, it will take you to this page, put your promo code, and you will be applicable for a discount. So click here, subscribe now, download now, register now. So they are not signboards where you just put up on your website so that prospects who are coming onto your website kind of tend to follow the signboards. But even though those signboards are important, but signboards do not constitute an entire message. Signboards do not constitute to a fantastic website. So do not treat your website like digital signboards. Rather, you should treat your website like entry doors to your business. So let me draw an analogy in here. So let's say that I'm a art enthusiast. Okay, of course I'm an art enthusiast. So what I'm going to do is I have a fantastic collection of art from the 17th and the 18th century, and this is from world-renowned art. These paintings are from world-renowned artists. These artifacts from around the world. So one fine day, what I decide to do is, okay, Ambi, you need to go ahead and then put up an art museum so that people should understand, and whatever travel that they have done should come out with value, and then people should come and visit it to understand about history and the history of this world. So what I do is I put up everything up in a very nice room, but at the same time, if I do not keep the door of the entrance of this art gallery as artistic as it is, it would represent the works of different artists around the world, it would not convey the value, right? So apply that same to your business. You might have a fantastic product, you might have a fantastic service. So if you do not keep in this digital world, if you do not keep your website nice, clean, and rich in content, but at the same time very minimalistic, so people are not going to be attracted to your business. So your website is the face of your business in the digital world. So think about it and then plan your content and design accordingly. And then the next one is think about this: the person who is your biggest paying customer that you have in your business right now. I'm addressing every single person on this call. I'm addressing every single person on this call. So the biggest paying customer, the first time you might have met him, 90% of the chances are that it was on your website. Sometimes people might you might meet in a trade show, and then you kind of build a relationship. But at the same time, the website is the place where you go ahead and then build long-term relationships. So it is like the first impression that you make with the prospect on your website, it is always about leaving a lasting impression the first time you meet a person. So your website forms a very important part of forming the first impression. So keep that in mind. If you need to build long-term relationship with your prospects, which applies to your best paying customer right now and the further best paying customer, make sure that you design your content and the content on your website in the right way so that you can build long-term relationships. Hope I got the point across. And so right now it's about I need to we have come to the conclusion that if your website is good in design and content, you should have better website visitor engagement. So how do you measure website visitor engagement? Interesting, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crowdsource this answer. So we got a poll that's on your screen right now, and you people on this call need to tell me, how do you measure website visitor engagement? Do you think it's about page views, or do you think it's about bounce rate, or do you think about number of shares, or do you think about the download rate your content gets once you put it up on your website or anywhere else? So think about it. Do you think if it is the page views, or it is like people moving from one page to the other, reading content, or do you think it is bounce rate? Or do you think it's the number of shares? I made a fantastic ad for 30 seconds. I put it up on YouTube. A million people watched it in 24 hours and it went viral. So do you think it is the right one? Or I came up with a handbook, an agent handbook, a sales rep handbook that could be distributed to different levels in the organization for my prospects. The best practices of selling into enterprise customers, enterprise companies. So, do you think it is a download rate of that PDF? So, what do you think is the best one? Okay, five, four, three, two, one, boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and share the results with you. There you go. So, quite interesting. So 50% of the people on this call, they said it is page views interesting. And then people like 42% of the people, they said bounce rate is the most important metric that measures visitor engagement, followed by 8% number of shares, download rate, sorry, no takers. Interesting. On both the polls, we saw 0% for the last option. Hope that's not a trend. So I'm going to hide the results right now. Thanks to everyone who participated in this poll. And getting back into the webinar, let's look at what is the metric that we had in mind. Ta-da! There you go. Bounce rate. So bounce rate, why bounce rate? It's quite simple, right? So page view is a metric that comes much after bounce rate. So why bounce rate? So let's say that I am a florist, okay, and I run and Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and then so there are people who are coming to my website to get a flower or send a gift to their loved ones, special ones, and all that, and I kind of got let's say that I have optimized my website for certain keywords, Valentine's Day gifts, Valentine's Day flowers, and all that. So what's going to happen is when somebody gets on Google and then searches for a certain keyword, and then they're going to come onto my website expecting a flower or a bouquet that can be sent for their loved one, special one, and then they come onto my website and they order, and then I ship it to that person. That's all done. But let's say that I am I am a software provider, custom software provider. And then what's going to happen is if I optimize things for florists and then optimize keywords for Valentine's Day gifts and all that stuff. And people who come onto my website, or obviously there's a huge mismatch of people coming in with an expectation and then moving into something else. So that's not going to work out at all. So what's the catch in here is that so if people are coming in with an expectation about your product or service and your website do not match that, people are going to exit your website without moving to another page. So that is bounce rate basically. So keep your bounce rate very minimal. So before that, we go further into bounce rate. We need to think a little bit about what is the average bounce rate of your website. And again, I'm going to throw the ball towards you, and then we're going to take this discussion further. So think about this. So what do you think is the average bounce rate of your website? Do you think it's less than 50%? Or do you think it's somewhere between 51 to 70%? Or do you think it's between 71 to 80%? Or do you think it's somewhere between it's more than 80%. So this is quite interesting, right? Because what's going to happen in here is that I know that you're going to ask me, Ambi, there is no single bounce rate that I can account for my because I have different landing pages and all that stuff. I understand that. Think about an average bounce rate of your website and then go ahead and then answer that for me. So is it less than 50, somewhere between 50 to 70%, and 71 to 80% of it's more than 80%? So, if you're wondering why I'm asking this question, because I'm going to share with you an industry standard. And this industry standard is basically going to tell you that what is a good or bad bounce rate. So, I have got an article that I'm going to share with you. So, I'm going to close the poll right now. Last call, five, four, three, two, one. Boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll, share the results. There you go, right on your screen. It says that 55% of the people on this call, they said that 51 to 70% is the average bounce rate of your website, followed by it is 71 to 80%, and then 18% said it is less than 50%. Interesting. Thanks to everyone who participated in this. I'm going to hide the results right now and then get back into the webinar and then share the stats with you. Boom. There you go. So this is from the article Internet Marketing Ninjas. So if you could see the graph, it says like if it is below 50%, excellent. So give yourself a warm round of applause for that for having engaging content on your website. People who are coming onto your website are really connecting with your content. That's fantastic news. And then from there, if you go to 50 to 70%, okay, it's kind of normal. If your bounce rate is somewhere around there, it's normal. Okay, okay, but still, you can improve. You can bring it down to 50. People who are below 50, you can bring it below 30. So think about it. And then the next one, people upward, uphill, it's just like code red. Because it's like 80% and 90%, it's poor and very bad. And then people who are coming onto your website are not connecting with your content. You are not kind of connecting with them in real time. You are not helping them at appropriate places. You are also not sending them information that would help them to understand your product or service better, that would in turn help you to close more deals faster. So this is an industry standard. Hope that's useful. And what I'm going to do right now is I give you a fantastic problem right in front of you. How to reduce bounce rate. So I can see people asking me, okay, Ambi, you built the problem, and what's the solution? So before I give you the solution, I just need to ask you this, okay? So there is no single right answer for this. If you feel all three answers are right, go ahead and then vote for them. We'll analyze the answers after this. So how do you reduce bounce rate and increase visitor engagement? So do you think it's by building quality content? Do you think by engaging website visitors in real time? Or do you think by getting better visitor insights? So think about it. Think about it. There is no single right answer in this. We are right now going for a weightage right now. So it is by engaging visitors in real time, or by building quality content, or by getting better visitor insights. Think about it. So even I can see the real time polls coming in. It's quite interesting. I'm going to share the results to you right now. Five, four, three, two, one, zero. Boom. Close the poll and then share the results. There you go. 86% of the people said by engaging website visitors in real time, you can increase visitor engagement and then reduce bounce rate, followed by building quality content, that's 57%, and then by getting better visitor insights, is 29%. Thanks to everyone who voted on this poll. So, for your reference on your screen, so 86% said engaging website visitors in real time holds the key. So, I'm going to hide the results, get back in here, and then, so like I said, no right answer. All three are right. And today, our key focus is going to be on item number two and three by engaging website visitors in real time and getting better visitor insights. So, before we go into that, there is one other interesting poll. So, if you could engage your website visitors in real time, and then especially people who said it is their bounce rate is well below 50%, and people who said it's well below 70%, think about this. What is your return on investment for every marketing dollar that you spend to attract new business? So think about this. Come up with this is a very thought-provoking question. Think about it and then think for 30 seconds or 20 seconds and then answer it. So for every marketing dollar you spend, what is the percent that you would get in return on investment? So do you think it's somewhere between 0 to 25%? Or do you think it's somewhere between 25 to 50%? Or do you think it's somewhere between 50 to 75%? Or it's 75 to 100? Or it is more than 100%? So this is a very key question because this is going to have a very honest impression on how this tool is going to help you in increasing your business and the effectiveness of connecting with your prospects. So think through it. Take your time. Take more 10 more seconds and then please answer this for me. So if it is below 25%, no worries. So if it's 25 to 50%, no worries. So any person that you think it is right now on your business, go ahead and then answer it for me. So I'm going to close the poll right now. It's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. One last chance. Okay. I'm going to close the poll, share the results. There you go. Quite interesting. This is the most participated poll. So it's about like 45% of the people feel it's below 50% for every marketing dollar they spend. Their ROI that's somewhere below between like it's below 0 to 25%. 36% feel it is between 25 to 50%, which means that If you go below, nobody answered for 50 to 75 and 75 to 100. And then 18% said it is more than 100%. So for every marketing dollar you spend, for people who answered for 0 to 25%, it is like 75%. It's literally going out in the dark, and then they don't have no idea why these customers, even though we are spending a lot of money, we are not able to convert them into customers. The same applies for people who said 25 to 50%. 50% of the time, most of their money is being thrown into the dark, and they don't get any visibility into why they are incurring this loss, or there is no return on investment on their activity. So thanks to everyone who answered this poll. I'm going to hide the results, get back in here, and then present you with the solution. So the solution is you need to engage your website visitors in real time, especially if you're someone who's heavily investing in. So there is no poll for this right now, but I'm going to list a few marketing activities. And if you engage in them, you need to go ahead and then engage your website visitors in real time. That's the real deal. So if you're someone who's investing heavily on Google AdWords, if you're someone who is investing heavily on email campaigns, if you're someone who is heavily dependent upon inbound traffic out to your website, and then those leads kind of feed the uh, profit of your business. So people who have such businesses and anybody who has got a website need to engage their website visitors in real time to increase your return on investment. And how do you engage your website visitors in real time? Quite simple. The tool is Zoho Sales IQ. So Zoho Sales IQ, what does it really do? It is a platform with real-time sales intelligence that would track and engage your website visitors in real time. I repeat, it would track and engage your website visitors in real time. It would track the hot prospects, engage the hot prospects, and then go ahead and then and it would help you to give you the intelligence to convert them into customers. Hope it is the high level idea. So let's look at this. So this screenshot is the all-new revolutionary Zoho Sales IQ Rings UI. This is how it actually looks inside the product. So what's going to happen in here is it is like people or visitors on your website are going to be initially surrounded like stars into the night sky. So if you're a sci-fi fan, you're going to love this. So there's going to be a fantastic love story between you and Sales IQ. Okay, I repeat, it's a love story between you and Sales IQ. So what's going to happen is, so there are four different levels, level one, level two, and level three. And imagine a dollar symbol in the outermost or the innermost ring. So what's going to happen is the closer these people are, the our prospects on your website are going to move into these rings, the closer they are near to the sale. But every business has got a certain demographics of what they would define as a hot lead. So how do we go about in assigning the hot leads? How do we go about in finding the parameters? And all that is going to be explained through a live demonstration. And if you think who is going to be a part of the live demonstration, people who are on this call, we will be taking only a maximum of 10 to 15 people, and these people will be allowed to participate in this live demo. And you need to basically just access this link and come on to this website that I'm pointing to. So there you go. We're going to start a live demo. So the live demo is going to start right now. All that you need to do is open this link in a browser. Okay. If you look, you don't need to type out that link. The link is right there into the GoToMeeting chat box. And this is your website for the next 30 minutes. And Ambi is your sales rep for the next 30 minutes. Okay. So let's see what's going to happen right here. So I have a lot of visitors who are going to come in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and then start a conversation with them. So there you go. Hello, Sam. Hello, Becky. Hello, Scott. So go ahead. The link is on your GoToWebinar chat box. I repeat, the link is on your GoToWebinar chat box. Go ahead and then access it. Hi, Ed. So there you go. Patricia, someone from India. Hi there. And then Sam, Scott, Becky, Ed. There you go. There's another person. Where is he from? Welcome, sir, from Ireland. Darg, Christopher. Okay, and then, sorry. So let's see who we got in here. Christina. Okay, hello, Christina. Hello, Donna. Okay, so we got a lot of people coming in here. So imagine this. Hello, Christina. Thanks. So we'll be talking in a while. Don't worry. So what's going to happen in here is this can happen on your website. Imagine if you put Sales IQ on your website, install Sales IQ on your website, this is going to happen on your website. So these are hot prospects. Let's say that, and I'm your sales rep, and let's see how you and me as a team are going to close deals from these prospects. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So four different levels. The sales rep, that's me basically, in the center of the screen. And how do I go ahead and then assign leads in here? So let's start a conversation with Sales IQ. Sales IQ is your best friend when it comes to closing deals. Talk to Sales IQ daily. So I hit on the customize button, and what's going to happen is I'm going to ask Sales IQ. Okay, Sales IQ, show me the people who are actively browsing on my website. Okay, so what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to hit on the drop down, and then I'm going to select the option by last activity. So there you go. Four different rings, four different rules. And the smallest ring is the innermost, the largest ring is the outermost. So I have set a rule that people who have made an activity on my website, like clicking on a web page and moving from one page to the other. So if they did any activity on my website, and I'm considering them as an active prospect and then grouping them inside the innermost circle. That activity should have happened a minute before, and it goes increasingly 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do right now is hit on the apply button. Watch out for the magic in here. There you go. Boom. So the only three people right now are actively browsing through my website. The first person is Scott, and the next person is Frank, he's from France. Oh, fantastic. And then the next person is Dirk, and this person is from Ireland. So what's going to happen is, let's say that if somebody made let's say that I'm going to ask Christina if you could just go to another page, you're going to move into this circle. There you go. If you see the ripple in there, that's a sign that somebody is moving on your website. So Becky just did something. And then there you go. So what's going to happen in here is it is like the people, if they start matching certain rules, those rules will change in real time and people will start moving into your website. Okay, I can see Becky and Christina totally excited and then trying that out. If you keep moving, the ripples will keep coming on. You trust me with that. Okay, somebody just did an action in here. It's Scott. Okay, so looks like everybody's excited. Cool. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to try the next coolest thing. Okay, so these are the people actively browsing on my website. These people in here. So let's say that I'm going to ask Sales IQ do something else for me. Okay, Sales IQ, fantastic. You showed me the most active people. The next one is like, let's say, okay, Sales IQ, I do not care about people browsing through my website actively, even if they're inactive on my website. Okay, just by the virtue of time spent. Let's say that time spent on the website is more than 10 minutes. Group them inside the innermost circle. And likewise, next one three, next one, and people who just came into my website, you are going to be in the outermost ring. Once I hit on apply, watch out for the magic boom. What's going to happen in here is that we are going to rearrange these people. There you go. So nobody met, yes, except this person, Patricia, nobody met that criteria. That's basically someone internally who came to this webinar before the demo. And then if I do a mouse over, this is going to tell me that 10 minutes for this circle. If I do a mouse over, it's going to tell me people who stayed on this website for more than 3 minutes. So everybody in this ring, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, down as 4 minutes. And this person has spent 2 minutes. So basically, Scott is in this ring because I have set a rule that anybody who has spent more than a minute, put them into this ring, followed by nobody is coming in new. If somebody accesses the link one more time or from a different browser, you can see that you'll be coming into this specific ring. So this is not cool. So these are just two basic rules. The real deal starts from now. So imagine if you could do this with 25 different rules, and these rules are going to be dynamically changing in real time. There you go. Somebody just came in just because I asked them to. Who's that? Frank came from a different browser. Thank you, Frank. So what's going to happen right now is I'm going to show you those different rules right now. So I'm going to go ahead and then show you those rules. So let's start with something really basic. So I'm going to show with browser. So the browser is equal to Chrome and hit on apply, and anybody who's using the browser Chrome will automatically be moved into this ring right now. Okay, so let's go into other things, like let's say that if you could have a specific rule like time spent on website that you already saw. If you're someone who is investing heavily on on email campaigns, and then you have a campaign content, and then you would like to take this information and then put this in here. Let's say that the campaign content is equal to, and then you enter a value or basically a keyword, and then let's say that you have something like let's take the same example, florist itself, and then you put in flowers in there, and you send out an email campaign to 20,000 people. And then let's say that people who come from that specific campaign, they can be captured and then displayed into that circle. So likewise, we have other criteria: campaign name, campaign source. If you're an UTM variable and then you need to put that inside, yes, you can do that. And if you want to group people based on city, specific city, yes, you can do that. Specific country. And current page is pretty interesting. So let's say that there are people on my current page, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and then ask Sales IQ to go ahead, and then people on my pricing page, all that I need to do is go ahead and take the link of my pricing page and then come back to Sales IQ and enter the value in here. So the current page is equal to this URL, and what's going to happen is that people on this specific page will be grouped inside the innermost circle. So we got 25 different rules, and we also got something called landing page. That is also quite interesting. So if you want to group people based on which page they land first, you can do that. And the real deal, we left it for the last. If you're a Zoho CRM user, we got both people on call, Zoho CRM users as well as new prospects. If you're a Zoho CRM user, this tool is an absolute no-brainer for you. Why? Because imagine there is so much of data in your CRM and your Zoho CRM especially. So let's say that if you could give your data a voice and then use the data and convert it into real-time intelligence, just imagine that ability. That's what you're going to do right now. You can sort website visitors and do real-time lead scoring. I repeat, you can do real-time lead scoring for the prospects that are in your CRM. And then you can basically take any of the contact fields in Zoho CRM and then convert them into intelligence in Sales IQ. So we got the account name, contact owner. You can score leads based on last activity, lead source, mailing state, number of chats. So you can do based on that. We got all the fields. But the most interesting thing in here is going ahead and then sorting website visitors based on CRM potential. Imagine, like, so your business has got at any given point of time 10 hot prospects are on your website, and these hot prospects, some of them are not are at different stages of closing those deals, and then only two of them are would require attention. And if you could focus all your energy into going ahead and then closing these two leads, would not be priceless? Yes, you can do that right now with Sales IQ. Go ahead, CRM potential, and then I can say revenue in pipeline is more than $10,000. So what's going to happen is it is like any person prospect that's coming on your website and they're already in your Zoho CRM that has been entered through Sales IQ. If they have this information entered with them, and if their revenue and pipeline is more than $10,000, what's going to happen is you can go ahead and then group them inside the innermost circle. And then if you monitor this, you'll be able to connect with this person and start a conversation. So this is about real-time lead scoring. Hope it was interesting and hope it was informative. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is, so the lead scoring part is the first part, and let's go ahead and then see how you can connect with people in real time. This is my favorite part. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to select people in random and then start a conversation. Okay. So I'm going to select three people right now. The first person is Christina. Brace yourself. we're coming. So this is a real-time conversation. This could happen on your website. Okay, Christian, if you're listening. Hi, Chris. I'm going to ask her a very simple question. How is the demo? Okay, I asked a question. I'm going to hit on start chat. Okay, and I'm going to ask the same question to another person, Scott. So once I hit on Scott, if you could see what's happening in here is you will get the styles UI. So the styles UI, it gives me his name, his email address, the country he's from, what's the browser he's using, and what's the operating system he's using. And since he has accessed this website, it comes up as accessed. Then there's a real time timer that's going in here. And then this timer says he's on my website for 8 minutes and 57 seconds. He's a new visitor and he's from San Jose, California. And then he's been on this homepage and this is where he landed. And then the referrer is empty right now because there is no because I shared the link directly with you. I have not the you have if I have not you have not come through a Google search or a Facebook search and all that. So this is how if the referrer is basically the source of this traffic, we'll put this link in there. So I'm going to start a conversation with Scott, and this is like a real-time feed. If Scott is going to browse through different web pages on my website, so we'll capture. He first came to the home page, stayed there for 5 minutes and 41 seconds, then to the pricing page, and he's on that page right now. So I'm going to start the chat with just one more person. Okay, so let's go with another person in Ireland. I'm going to go ahead with this person and say hi. How is the demo? Okay, so three different people at two different parts of the world, and then I'm going to go ahead to the chat section. Christina just wrote back, very informative and interesting. So Scott and Dirk, if you're listening, if you could also write back, or if we could just go ahead and then start a conversation with Becky also. I'm going to check in Becky right now. Okay, hi, Becky. Okay, how is the demo? Okay, so once I close this, I go to the chat section. The tracking section is the ring section. The chat section is where everything is coming in. So Christina said very informative and interesting. Doug said it's very good. So if the other two people start writing to me, Becky said awesome. I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Becky. So there you go. So people are on my website right now, and just like I would go ahead and then start a conversation with a friend, I just started a conversation, and this is just like taking up your Android or iPhone and then starting a chat with your friend on Snapchat or WhatsApp. So that's easy as that. So okay, so once we got the initial response, we're going to move into this screen in here. So what does this actually do? So what does this interface tell me? This gives me the information, the contact information about this person, gives me the information like what is the page this person is looking at right now, and it also gives me the home page they landed and all that stuff. So what's going to happen right now is there are quick strikes. So if you put in a hashtag in here, and then you can automate the way you ask questions. So this is basically just like a one-time import. You can go ahead and then have canned responses and then put them into sales IQ, and you can kind of query them and call them back at a later point of time. I'm going to say, hi, I asked the first question, how's the demo? Now, how can I help you today? I hit on enter again. There you go. So we started a conversation again. And we got other important information in here, more actions. So if you go to more actions, what's going to happen is it's like if you like to block an IP, definitely I'm not going to block Vicky at all. I'm just giving an example. If you like to block an IP, you can go ahead and then do that. If somebody is spamming your website with false chats. And then if you like to share an URL, so all that you need to do is Becky is asking me more information about my service, and then she wants to know about like how much is it for 3 users signing up on your professional plan. Boom, I sent her that information. And not only that, I can also go ahead and then invite, I can share files. It's like I have a fantastic comparison document between myself and my competitor. Yes, I can share it with her. And I can also invite other users to come on chat with me. And if I need help from other people, I can also transfer this chat to a different person if I'm over and went to a meeting. And I can also translate this chat. Imagine this: if somebody is from a, let's say from Spain, they only know Spanish. You're uh, in other states, you know only English. So what's going to happen is it is like you can go ahead and then activate, translate this chat, and then the prospect can speak in Spanish, but you will get the message in English. You can type it out in English. The prospect will get it out in Spanish. Quite cool, right? Business is global. Your tools also needs to be global. So there you go. And the other interesting part in here is if you're a Zoho CRM user, don't miss out on this. Watch out. So Becky is a fantastic lead for me. I'm going to convert her into a lead right now. I'm going to put in the company as Acme Corp. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and then say I need to contact her in the future. And then phone number, yes. I'm going to put her to a top rep, and it's Patricia. I'm going to add this as a lead. There you go. And right now, few more conversations. I kind of understand that Becky is not only a lead, she's a contact, and I need to create a potential for her. So potential name, we're going to say there's a huge deal that's coming up for $100,000. Thank you, Becky. And then the potential stage is the need analysis stage. And then the amount is going to be like $100,000. Okay. And then the closing date is going to be like, let's say, the 20th of Friday. Thank you, Becky. I wish we could discuss that after this call. Thank you. So so I would convert this lead. Thank you, Becky. You made my day. So I'm going to convert this lead. And what's going to happen right now is you're going to go ahead and then this information that you see here right now also needs to reflect in your CRM, right? So that's the end goal. So all that you need to do is go ahead and then hit on this icon in there, and it'll take you to the actual place where inside your CRM. So we had this initial chat that we had, and then there you go. Looks like Becky just upped the ante in here, and then and then she said like it's going to be like 200,000 over there. So so it's like you go ahead and then track your conversation at a centralized place, and then for every chat that I have with Becky, it is going to be like a PDF file gets added once I end this conversation. If I end this conversation in here, and then I can end this session, let's say I'm going to end this session in 90 seconds, and what's going to happen is once I end this session, this will be moved, this conversation that I had with Becky will be moved as a PDF file into Zoho CRM, so that next time if Ambi is not available and she gets connected to a different person, so that person will also be able to be having a contextual conversation. Okay, so that is it. So thanks to Becky, Dark, and Christina for participating in this demo. And the last part of this live demo is about intelligent triggers. I repeat, the word is intelligent triggers, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So, what are intelligent triggers? So, intelligent triggers are basically a way to automate your website visitor engagement, the way to automate the process that myself and a couple of other prospects had right now. It was all manual. But let's say that if you could form a demographics of a hot prospect and then convert it into intelligence, so that is going to be intelligent triggers. So how we're going to do that is pretty simple. Go to settings, go to tracking rules, and go to the ads section. So what's going to happen in here is just like we use different rules for sorting or lead scoring website visitors in real time, we are going to program is a very big word, so we're going to teach sales IQ those intelligent triggers. So my business, I know about it, and then I'm going to say people who are coming from this specific campaign that I did today morning. I sent out an email campaign to 100,000 people. Okay, that's a huge campaign. I put a lot of money into it. If that campaign content contains deal of the day, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to route it to my top sales rep, Jeff, James. these are my killer sales reps. They can kind of they kind of beat their quota every month. So I'm going to put my best people in there. I'm going to select an action in here that is basically send chat invite, and the name is going to be automatically picked up from Jeff and James. The message is, hi, how can I help you today? So that's just a basic message. You're most welcome to put in any message of your choice. I can put in, would you like me to help you with the deal of the day? And I can put in a time sensitive thing in here and then say it's after 30 seconds. So the rule is set up in such a way that anybody who is visiting your website is going to be initiated this message, and that is going to happen after 30 seconds. And people coming that those prospects are basically who are from this campaign that contains this content, deal of the day, and then they're going to be routed to Jeff and James. So this is how it works. And the best part is you can configure Sales IQ on your Apple or Android phone. So it is like the system, you do not have to be chained to your desk at all. The system will send out the invites, and then once it sends out the invites, what it will do is it will go ahead, and then if let's say 100 people are on your website who match this criteria, and then the system will send out the invites. And once it sends out the invite, if they write back, you can get a notification on your phone, and you can just start a conversation even when you're, let's say when you just stepped out for a brunch, and then you don't want to miss a hot deal that's happening. You just on the lobby relaxing yourself. You got a hot prospect on your website. You don't want to miss him, her. You can do that. And if you're a Zoho CRM user, this is an absolute no-brainer for you, because you can configure intelligent triggers based on CRM potential value. So CRM potential value, or CRM contact, or CRM lead, any of those information you can take and configure an intelligent trigger, and you can say number of open potentials is more than 2, and you kind of now route it to Patricia, or I'm going to put it to Tim. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select an option and then say send chat invite, and I'm going to say hi, thanks for coming back, how can I help? So there you go. So, and that's going to happen in the first 10 seconds. So anybody who has got more than 2 open potentials, and if they come on your website and stay there for more than 10 seconds, this system will send out an invite. And not only that, if they write back, you're going to get notified on your phone if you have Sales IQ configured on your smartphone. So imagine this. You can do this same sales real-time intelligence, and what you can do is you can configure these triggers for 25 different rules, the same kind of rules, landing page, and also like let's say you can city, country, and also number of visits, past visits. If it's more than 10, more than 5, you can do that. So all this, you do not have to be chained at your desk at all. Configure it, train the system. The system will send out the invites, and you will be able to close deals in real time. So that is pretty much it. So the next thing is, what are the other things that we have? We give extensive reports in here, and these extensive reports are like based on visitors, users, and tracking and all that. You can check that out. And not only that, these reports are pretty interesting because we give very granular information about your visitors and users. Users are basically your sales reps, and tracking is like how many triggers were initiated, how many were responded, and not only that, it also gives you a ratio like what is the success rate of your trigger. So if you contacted 4 and 3 responded, it's 75% success rate. Go ahead and then use the intelligent trigger more often. So these kind of these kind of reports are very helpful for you to fine tune your message and increase your website visitor engagement. Hope that was useful. So that's pretty much it. And I really appreciate everybody who's participated in this live demo. Thanks very much. And if you're interested in knowing like how you can hook up your Sales IQ and Zoho CRM account, it's one click of a button. It's really one click of a button. Go to settings, go to integration, and then it's all right now. I enabled it. I'm going to disable it right now. And then I'm going to enable it. And there you go. That's all. Both your systems are tied. If you install it on your website, and then come over here and hit on this enable. It's going to be enable. That's all. So that is pretty much it. So what is the importance of hooking up both the systems, Zoho CRM and Zoho Sales IQ? So you'll be able to identify hot prospects in real time, and you will be able to have contextual conversation. That is the biggest advantage. And there are like you have three different visitor categories: leads, customers, and potentials. And this is how it looks in real time. So a lead is something where it is like you got no potential associated with it. With potential customers, it has got one potential associated with it. With customers, it is going to be like one open potential. There's a fantastic upsell opportunity in there for you. So what are the other information we'll show you? We'll show you the deal size, the pages visited, on the time spent. And not only that, if you go to, let's say in the case of Michael, you can see that once you hit on this view in here, it's going to take me over here and then say what are the different actions performed, accessed on the home page, and what time they spent and what are the action performed. And the next one is what are the past chats they're having. So this is what I said, a PDF file for every chat that you had. That is also going to be quite interesting. And what are the past visits, right? So let's say that we'll track all the different visits, right, from June to July, and then we had a lot of information in there about when they visited, how long they spent, and if they had a conversation, that is going to be tick mark against their page over there. And not only that, even your mail conversations are going to be captured in here. So this is going to be a fantastic addition to your prospecting efforts. So the last part is, how do you know when a potential customer is on your website? Very simple. Once you integrate both the systems, you will see on the extreme bottom right hand side of your screen, there will be a small box that comes up with visitors, and then you can basically minimize this also. And different alerts for each visitor category. For new visitors, the focus is more on what are the pages they are visiting right now. And for potential customers, the focus is going to be more on what are the potentials that you have, open potential that you have. And for customer alert and upsell opportunity, it's going to tell you how much we won, how much we lost, and you can also invite this person to chat. So that's pretty much it. So it kind of sums up in real time. We're going to the Q&A session right now. So this is a fantastic addition, Sales IQ, as a standalone tool for your prospecting efforts to increase your return on investment for your marketing efforts. That if you're a website focused company and if your website is your main source for generating leads, so go ahead and then use Sales IQ to increase conversions and then increase your return on investment for your marketing dollars. And if you're a Zoho CRM user, this is an absolute no-brainer for you. Go ahead and then install this system and start closing deals in real time. And all the very best and happy selling.